So this game already is unknown. Like this thing doesn't even have a section on Twitch. Like this thing doesn't. You can't pick the game because this game just straight up does not have a category on Twitch. I don't know much about it other than it's kind of like a weird short horror game. Let's go ahead and start up. This is not your house before I fucking have an anxiety attack listening to this music. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle. Keeping it ready, as he walked to the trunk of his car, he hangs his groceries from his wrist, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. So this guy's like petrified of getting jacked. He lives in the cul-de-sac, I bet, though. Look at that house. He definitely lives in the cul-de-sac. He's got no worries here. An SUV and a 3-story mansion. I think he's going to be just fine. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. He can't stop listening for the sound of someone's rushing toward him. There is a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he's right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now. Smooth is fast. Roger's key slides in on the first try. It won't turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H. Definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Lock, jam, broken maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. At this point, he's the only suspicious person. He's been looking around nonstop, scratching his... They probably think that this guy is actually like on crack or something. He sees no one. Oh, he releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. Okay, you're not going to walk away. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push the key and door handle every which way. Was that a noise in the game? I think there's a whale communicating in the distance that I hear. Do I live near the ocean? Without success, Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant! The police are on the route! The door unlocks from the inside. Can I help you? You can start by getting out of my house! This house does not belong to you. Check the deed, lady. This is real weird. Like, is he not more freaked out that there's somebody in his house, by the way? This creepy ass lady? A deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. Personal property is a social construct. Those who inhabit a space own it. Shit. So we have two options here. We can either let her have the house or take our house back. Let's take our goddamn house back. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temperature. What a badass. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner stumbles back into the kitchen. She built though. You forgot your chicken. Oh shit. Hey, maybe. Get the chicken. Alright. Thank you. Thank you actually, madam. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous and what the fuck? Analogous to the homeowner, devouring his rotisserie chicken. What the hell is that thing? The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife, Is this to cut the chicken? The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. Oh my god. Why did I turn around and get the damn chicken? Damn. I got stabbed a bunch of times. Holy hell. Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang of her blood with an unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up but grows weaker, and as blood pumps through his heart and out his back, the homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. Why did I turn around to get the chicken? The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bags on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter it first to see what there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate a draft. The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings-on of the house safeguarded from the eyes of praying neighbors by a door and some drapes. And credits. Well, that's the first ending. Jesus Christ, that was, I got quite possibly the worst ending that you can get instantly. Alright, it's pretty quick. Let's see how it goes when we don't turn around and grab the rotisserie chicken. You know what? Crazy idea, right? You turn your back to the weird lady inside of your house, you get stabbed in the back. Let's take our house back, right? This is right back here. She tells me about the chicken. I stand my ground now. Who is that? Elon Musk? What the hell? I'll get it when you're gone, said Elon. What the hell? She went like a witch. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. Roger hears a car start up right outside. Uh-oh. He looks out the window to see what's going on. She took my car! She took my Tesla, my Cybertruck. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. I got robbed! Oh my god. Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in the kitchen. What the hell? He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he is sure she's gone. What the... This is the weirdest game already. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Dollies, table runners, oil drape runners, candles. It seems like she lived here for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. To be honest, I wouldn't be the same. No, if a random demon woman randomly took over my house for a few days, even like how long was he gone? I think he was in the grocery store. And then disappeared in front of me like a goblin. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker just so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. Oh shit. A shadow passes by the window. End credits. Uh-oh. Alright, so that's another ending. Alright, so what happens if I just let her have the house? Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station. Oh, go get the police? Which car is that? The one I pulled up in? I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But, sir, that's Mike. Oh, no. She's... Again! She waves at him, too, with a smile. Here, let me help you with that. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft sweep. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. He feels goosebumps forming on his arms as his nipples harden. Wait, what? Wait, hold up. Where's this going? Give me my shirt back! No need for these either. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants, oh my god, and yanks backward, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles on his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision of the porch. Wait, which head? Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. The homeowner glides into the house, slamming the door behind her. She neutered him. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hand and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. Oh my god, what is going on? Break down the door. This also seems bad. The naked guy screaming and breaking down a doorway. Let's seek shelter. There's a shed back there. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it is best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Into the woods? Dude, there's a shed back there. Roger finds a grove just before dark. Oh my god. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside, and he settles into a comfortable position. His breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. What is music? This is so weird, dude. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pangs. Oh, he didn't get to eat his rotisserie chicken. He crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around looking for food. He's become a ruffian. He happens upon a large growth of mushrooms. Oh my god. I eat the mushrooms. Roger consumes the mushrooms with a desperate ferocity. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he starts to feel ill. Yo, he's tripping balls now. The music's kicked in. What is this music? Hey, this is a banger though. Hold up, he's cooking. His head begins to spin. His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. Roger sees the world around him as part of him. Or he as part of it. A very small part. A moat. The homeowner was right. In part, personal property is a construct. But habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree anymore after sleeping in it than he did before knowing of it. The moat merely landed on the tree. In the morning, it came upon some mushrooms and began thinking of the world before itself. Yo, he's tripping balls. It surrendered itself to the soil, to the cool, damp, to the network, forsaking hunger, forsaking worlds. Words like Roger, forsaking, and returning home. I died by becoming a part of the fungal network. That's the ending. I became a fucking mushroom. End credits. Just like that. Just like that, I'm a mushroom now. This is the weirdest fucking game ever, man. Let's do that again. How about we try to break down the door now? Let's see what happens. Roger's a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit! Has she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Oh shit, arm myself. Hide in ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner wall by the bottom of the staircase. Well, at least you can't see his dick in there. Hoping he will remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding and twisting into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Oh no. Roger pulls the gun away and it brings it down on her face. He does it again and again. Oh! And again. Relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after. Uh-oh. The neighbor called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass, followed by repeated muffled blows. As Roger and his defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances, leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. A woman police were never able to identify due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution was able to convince them that Roger had kidnapped a woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Oh my god. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row awaiting lethal injection. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. I like the ending where I become a mushroom better, to be honest. Holy fuck. What's this game about? So there was another option in here, right? Arm yourself. What happens if we arm ourselves? Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. We now know she has a shotgun, by the way. So, I'd imagine this isn't gonna end well. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. Well, that's about how I thought that was gonna go. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled a John Doe. Oh my god. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labeling Roger an unidentified drifter and the homeowner as an... Why the fuck didn't she go to jail for shooting his ass? She shot his ass and then she was scot-free? Nah, that's sexism right there. Some locals caught the story and recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of a homeowner who defended themselves. When police were nowhere in sight, she was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. Okay, no, that's the worst ending right there. You're labeled a fucking perverted beast. At least your legacy lived on. Shit, you gotta find the silver lining somewhere. Damn. Okay, well, that was terrible. I want to see if this ends well. Alright, let her have the house. There we go. What happens if we wait her out now? Let's just wait her out. Roger was not one to bully others or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch like any respectable citizen would. Fucking geek. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent. Well, it's better than something else becoming limp and inconsistent, I guess. And his hollers turned to hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Roger reasoned it was best for him to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. Oh my god, he sat on the porch, curled up and nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and sleepiest Roger had ever been. That's actually something they do say, like people who freeze, apparently you get really warm when you're like about to freeze to death and you just drift away in like a sleep. You get real tired and real warm. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. Cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. That's honestly probably the best ending we've had so far. No, I guess the one where he lived, right? That's probably the best ending. Now we find help. Let's see what happens if we find help. Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Now, if Roger gets shot, I'm gonna be real sad. Roger sprints toward him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger, of course. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move! Hands! Let me see those hands! They're up! I'm cooperating! Suspect is uncooperative. I'm cooperating! What am I a suspect of? Turn around! I said turn around right now! Roger complies. Walk backwards towards me. Roger walks backwards towards the officer. Not so fast! Roger stops in a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up! Roger very slowly walks backwards towards the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace, preferring to aggravate the officer. Rather than do something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Shit, he arrested Elon. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer pushes Roger into the backseat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch regarding Roger's arrest. Roger's naked body wriggles for several minutes against the leather in the back seat while he attempts to sit up. Please, someone has broken into my house. Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over. Save it for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. When I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange how? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right, but what is it that made her strange to you? How calm she was about it all. Like I was a perfect stranger. Like she belonged there. The officers glance at one another. So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door? Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house and I turned around and saw her driving away in my car at the same time. This guy seems so fucking crazy. She was in the car and the house all at once. So what happened to your clothes? She took them. Right on the porch when I turned to see the car taking off, she slipped my shirt off without you even asking? The officers snigger while sharing a look. It's not funny. I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. And then they fist bumped. And I went, eh. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. Alright, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of the same person, and wandered the streets naked, but you haven't had anything to drink? That's not what I said. That isn't how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking. Oh my god. These are both bad. Insist I'm sober. I was not drinking. It's true what I said, every word of it. Put a note that the subject is not cooperating and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has resources necessary to help someone like you. Oh dear God. Oh my God. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental hospital institutions. Oh my God, dude. Every situation, her Roger is bad. I guess except the one where he fucking lived and all she did was steal his car. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out the ravings as they did with all the other patients. Unspecific nonsense that you can hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door. End credits. Oh my God. Wouldn't it be easy to just go to the house and like check it out? Yeah, the mushroom ending was still good. Alright, let's do that again. But now I'm gonna pick the option where he confesses to be drunk. You're right, officer. I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's alright, old timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm very grateful. Well, you can spend the night in the drunk tank and we'll release you in the morning. Ooh, okay, this is better than an insane asylum. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting in his cell bench. It was rigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in the service. He's a Marine too, a veteran. True to his word, the officers released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the Lost and Found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet, had no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passerbys refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowds and entirely out of memory. Holy shit, he became a vagrant. Oh yeah, don't eat the mushrooms. I forgot about that. I was so happy. You know what? I was content with my mushroom ending. That I was like, that's good. That's the best situation that could happen there. Do not eat the mushrooms. He's just gonna die in the tree, I think. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisoned or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be, but the fact remained, he was hungry. He sets out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace. He sulks through the tree lines parallel to the road to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into the alleys and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze. It makes him salivate and clench his fists with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help. Okay. Go to the fire station? Okay, let's go to the fire station. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing it could lend me? Or some food to spare? Got plenty of both, come on in. Oh, am I gonna become a fireman? Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with the monogram of a defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry is in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we got. I would appreciate some, thank you. The fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So if you don't mind me asking, what's got you out of the streets with your pecker hanging out? Group of dots. I went out for some grocery yesterday. While I was out, some woman broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in and had to spend the night in the woods. But why was your pecker out? You like shopping naked? Yeah, sir, I'm a nudist. Group of dots. No, the woman had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on the porch, and her pal took off with my car. The fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? It was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find the station and she took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kind of makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled onto this place. The brick facade helps it stand out. You got any kind of documentation to prove you own the house? How do they not have any type of documentation, by the way? Of course. I have the deed in a safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that bitch took my pants with my wallet still in them. You think she's still in the house, or took off with the car with her pal? She had no intention of leaving, I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues on the horn and get this sorted for you. This is the best ending! The fireman lumbers over to the phone on the far wall. A wave of relief washes over Roger, knowing a civil servant is assisting him. What is this music in the back, by the way? Jesus Christ. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman thinking of him as a crazy old man. Worse still, Roger worries he's a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. A part of him hopes the woman is still in his house to prove himself that what he thinks happened really happened. When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom, raving that the house is hers. She's been here all her life. It's her childhood home. She demands the police get a warrant to search the premises, but she's unable to provide personal ID or proof of residence. Bearing no legal claim to the property, she cannot refuse them entry. They are unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner has destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he used to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Oh my god. He did it. Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site of Nevada where BlackRock was breaking ground on the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept a shotgun on his bedside and slept easy. Wow, dude, what a W ending for him. I can't believe he made it out like that. Okay, other than the one where he dies by a mushroom is still slightly better, but this one's pretty good too. You know what? Good for Roger. There was one more, and it was follow the scent of food. Roger's hunger takes hold of him. It demands satisfaction. So he follows the scents in the air. Like you know how in Bugs Bunny, when they smell a pie and they start floating towards the food, he did that, but he's a naked 63-year-old man with his pecker out. He finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Oh, he's on a Switch. Roger wanders the vacant halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks and some sneakers. He heads straight for the ready-made meals by the self-checkout. Piping hot pizzas for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. Oh, this one makes him seem crazy. Although, hey, which is the best ending? The one where he safely made it back to his house and the person got arrested, or the ending where he got pizza? You tell me which is the better ending. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store, leaving discarded pizza boxes and tags in his wake. What the hell is this? He makes his way to the ATM outside the store entrance. Roger reads the display and looks down. Insert arm into the automaton orifice. He sees the ATM's orifice. He slides his arm inside. It's cold, pulsating. Roger looks up at the display. His fingers grope around the inside of the orifice for the keypad. Roger feels raised shapes of the numbers on the keys. He pokes his pin into the pad. The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies. Roger had never committed a criminal act. He was distressed to discover how easy it was. At his own house in broad daylight, no one paid any attention as he hooked the hose up to the gas tank outside of the house. No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window, or ran the gas tank hose through it. Not even when he threw a lit Zippo inside. The neighborhood only took notice when they heard. the result. He blew up his house like a fucking superhero. The fire department was first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural incident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount on his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. No, that's the best ending right there. No, that's it. Guys, we found the best ending. Now that's the best ending. Killed her ass and got a home closer, bigger home too, and a new car, I bet, Corvette. And that's the end of This Is Not Your House. Those are all the different scenarios in real life that can happen. So what do we take away from this, ladies and gentlemen? Now, obviously, number one, never trust the police. That's number one right there. Number two, if you're ever naked on the street and you got no clothes, go to a fire station. They'll take care of you. They're lovely people out there. Number three, incredibly easy to steal clothes and eat pizza straight from the Walmart. Listen, I know, I've done it. So if somebody ever takes your house, just blow the house up. And those are the rules we learned after playing This Is Not Your House. Honestly, a very, very weird game.